Well, my family is from Georgetown. My grandmother's property is on the corner of Hyde Market and Meeting, and I think everybody knows where I live at because of my van. But I've actually decided to move here about 22 years ago. I've raised 3 of my 5 children here. 3 of them have graduated from Georgetown High School. I used to drive for New York City Transit.
Oh.
Got hurt on the job. They were gonna, that was a turning point in my life because I couldn't do what I loved to do, which was driving. So came down here and started a new life.
Yeah, and I know you've been involved with a lot of stuff over the years,
Yes.
especially the election commission. I mean, you've been a poll watcher, poll worker, and been involved with that. What's some other things you've been doing?
Well, actually, I'm actually a South Carolina certified clerk now.
Mm-hmm.
I got involved with community leaders and things along that line. So what I've been doing since I've been down here, a lot of community outreach.
Mm-hmm.
Georgetown Outreach Ministries was the first taste of outreach that I've ever gotten. That was through Rosalind Coleman and Elder Sandy Drayton. I learned a lot through them.
Good teachers?
Wonderful teachers.
Mm-hmm.
My business aspect of everything made me decide to go back to school because of all that I was learning, and I just wanted to put some emphasis behind it. The 100-year flood was, I guess, the turning point for me where I said, yeah, this is where I gotta be. We had a lot of donations of water, cleaning products, food, you name it, it was at the meeting place, and we distributed it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So outreach was that was the taste of outreach that made me decide that I needed to know more of the place that I lived in.
Now, what made you decide you wanted to run for city council?
Going to the city council meetings, going to the county council meetings, going to the school board council meetings, going to any special meeting they had, just to hear what they were doing. And I couldn't understand why they did the things that they did. It just seemed like it was not only out of touch, but unfair to all communities.
Mm-hmm. And now I can vouch for you because I go to a lot of meetings, even though I think you go more than I do, but you're at the meetings. You
Yes.
are there. It's school board, city council, county council.
They are all connected.
Mm-hmm.
They are all connected. There's not one thing that affects the school board that doesn't affect the city, or one thing that affects the city that doesn't affect the county. Because, I've learned that the city residents pay county and city taxes. Mm-hmm. So once I found that out,
And school board.
And school board,
Yep.
yeah.
So,
but I needed to find out, well, what are we paying for? And what, upgrades are being done, because I hadn't seen them. So I wanted to see what the process was and what's the information that I'm missing that may put all these puzzle pieces together.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you about city council. What's some of the things that you saw at city council going on that made you say, yeah, maybe I need to be up there and not sitting in the audience?
Honestly, I didn't have a plan to run for city council.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin, Clarence Smalls, he had asked me about it, a while back, and I just said, I'm not ready. I needed to know a little bit more of what was going on to actually say that I would want to do something like that. But once I seen that no one stepped up to the podium, I said, I have to run. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure, I'm not sure of all that I can bring, but I'm going to bring something.
Mm-hmm. Now, from being at the city council meetings in which you're also in attendance, I can tell a lot of times you disagree with some things being said from behind the city council podium. What are some of the specific things that you see going on that you say, no, that's not right?
Transparency is just not there. They're not being totally transparent. When they speak about a $5.8 million renovation, It's not just
for City Hall.
For City Hall.
Okay.
It's not just 5.8, overall. There's contracts that need to be signed that cost. There's plans that have a cost. There's revisions of those plans that may need to have a cost. It's a lot of money still not accounted for. The transparency is just not there. And that's one of the reasons why I said to myself at that point, I need to do something. And being behind the podium on that side of the room is not helping. Yes.
What do you think about the location though for the City Hall?
I don't like it, but it gives that building a better use.
No, but what is it about you don't like? Is it
I
the
think
location or the building?
The location
Okay.
and the building,
Okay.
because when I seen that Rite Aid went out of business, I said that would be perfect for City Hall. Perfect. It has parking. It has additional parking across the street. It has upper and lower floors. It had a drive-through window.
And for those unfamiliar, you're talking about the used to be the drugstore at the corner of High Market and Merriman Road.
Correct.
Okay, just make
Yes.
sure people know which one building you're talking about.
Thank you. But yes, though that area to me would have been a better choice.
But what about the argument that the city says, well, this is going to help the West End by doing this building here. It may attract other businesses, to that area and help the West End. What do you? That's the argument they put out to say why they chose that area.
I do not wholeheartedly believe that. I would have to do a little more research on it. But the West End was always a thriving area prior to them saying that they can make it that. It was already that. A lot of people passed away. A lot of children moved away. So therefore, there are buildings there that can be used for commercial use. But I need to look a little more into that before I, say what zonings happened, because I was told that, the zoning changed, and mixed use is excellent if it's going to benefit the people who live there.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you about another topic that has been a hot issue for the city council over the past couple of years. That's electric rates. And I think you've spoken to council about it. A lot of people have. What do you think the city did wrong, in your opinion, as far as causing the rates to increase?
They changed the billing cycle, for one. They didn't test the new system prior to implementing it.
And that caused people to get bills that said, 3 days, and some people to get bills that said 51 days.
Correct.
Yeah.
I actually had a bill for 54 days.
Or you got a 54-day bill.
Yeah, I had a 54-day bill. Also, there were nodes, I think that's what the gentleman told me, that needed to be changed out in the water meters that was hindering the system from reading the new system. So they went out and they changed about 2,500 of them. But there's more than 2,500 houses here. So when I asked the question, well, were all those nodes changed out yet? I really never got an answer. So some people may be still getting bills like that because the system is not able to read the water meters in the ground.
Well, now you're an electric customer for the city, so has the days of billing gotten better? I mean, are you getting the right number of days on each bill now, or is it still messed up?
Yeah, the number of days are still fluctuating because there's only 29 days in 1 month of the year. They need to do better with that because it will vary from 29 to 33, and that's not good. But also the way that the fees on top of these bills, it's like you can afford your usage, but you can't afford the fees, and the fees are almost equal to what you're using, and that's crazy. And they added so many more fees onto the bill. There's 2 extra fees on there that I think I don't have it in front of me, but I think is definitely one that's at the very top of the bill that it's like at one point it had said negative something, but then by the time I looked at it again, it was like $14. I'm like, what am I paying $14 for? I don't know. But I said I would address that later.
So what can you as a council person, if you're elected, do to help, help improve the electric bills, either keep them steady or bring them down?
Well, collectively, what people must understand that nothing can't be done unless it's a majority vote.
Right.
And that this is one thing that must be understood. If everybody doesn't vote for it, it's not going to happen. So we need to have like-minded people with this situation. First of all, yeah, I would love to, first of all, get the meter reading back to where it was, where it's, I think it was like the 3rd and the 15th or something like that, where it accommodates the way people get their checks during the month. Because if you get a check on the 3rd of every month, but your bill is due on the 1st and 2nd, you're always going to be late. And if you're living from check to check, which a lot of people are, they're never going to be, they're always going to get that fee onto their bill. So that's one thing. I think if we can, and I say if we can, get the billing cycle changed. Also, if we can reduce those fees, I would love to be able to reduce the fees where they're manageable, because I never even realized how much I was paying in fees until they went up substantially.
Yeah.
It didn't just creep up, it went up. So, yeah, those are the two things that I would definitely try to work on, and making sure that the equipment that's in the ground can read the system that they now have in place.
Well, let me ask you about another issue that's going to be a big thing for whoever wins over the next 4 years, and that's the Liberty Steel, Georgetown Steel property. As we speak, the steel mill coming down, and at some point that area is going to be clear, and then they're going to figure out what happens to it. What would you like to see happen to it? It's private property, so they're going to do what they want to do with it, But if you had your wish list, what would you like to see happen with that property?
I never really thought of what I would want to do with it, other than to just have open space. Just open space. Because at this point, that ground is so toxic that to clean it up is going to cost a lot of money. And if they're willing to clean it up the way it needs to be, I guess my grandchildren will be able to play on it or live on it or something. But as of right now, to clean up all that toxic waste is going to be roughly about anywhere from 25 to 30 years. And then that's if you can find some place that will take the toxic material that needs to be removed. So honestly, green space if possible. I don't want to see, or if anything, on the cement side of the paper mill where the dome is, I would like to see like a warehouse or something that will bring jobs to Georgetown. I have a daughter that works part-time at a Amazon warehouse. There's security there. There's 3 shifts there. There's and even if it was automated, you still need people. So at this point, do something, make it a hub. It doesn't have to be a warehouse per se, but it could be a hub. But yeah, that's what I would like to see, more green space.
Well, connected to the steel mill property is, of course, the old port that the county now owns, and of course connected to that is the International Paper property. The city doesn't have a whole lot of say-so in what happens with those properties because they're in the county jurisdiction. But what do you hope the county does as far as involving the city in the decision making about what happens at the port and maybe what happens at IP?
Include the city residents, because we're the ones who actually and who are going to take the blunt of whatever happens. If they have trucks coming in and out of there, the city is going to be the one who takes who has to deal with the traffic and the whatever else is going on with it. But I just hope that they include the city's opinion and advice on what they feel should be there as well.
Of course, the port, the county is going to have basically complete say so what happens there because they own the property since it was given to them by the state IP, just like the steel mill, private property. So the county doesn't have a whole lot of say so about what happens with the property, even though I guess maybe some zoning issues. But if you had your wish list, I might say the same thing I did about the steel mill. As far as the paper mill goes, when these private entities are deciding what to do with it, what do you hope they decide?
Again, to include the people. They have to include the people.
Yeah, as far as what goes there.
What goes there, any type of industry that will not harm us. Any type of like right now the box plant is there, and from what I'm understanding about the box plant, is not as toxic. I don't know exactly how they're created, but it's not the paper mill. So whatever they're doing there, maybe we can expand it. Maybe we can again put something there that's not going to be hazardous to people's health.
We've heard about two different sets of people when it concerns what happens with the steel mill. We've got the area that we're sitting in right now downtown in the historic district, and residents and people have said that they're afraid that once the development takes place at the steel mill property, that the historic nature of Georgetown, the emphasis on our historic district, will be no more. That we're going to focus on the new stuff on 17 and not really promote the historic district anymore. Then you got another group that lives in the West End that says they're worried that once the development takes place, that their property values are going to increase so much that they're going to be priced out of their homes. And we hear the word gentrification quite a bit when they talk about that. What do you say to those two different groups of people that are concerned about what will happen once the steel mill property is developed?
Well, I feel the same way. The taxes will go up. The concerns they have are valid. Being priced out is a possibility.
I mean, we saw it happen at Pawleys Island. Once, back, decades ago, if you left Georgetown and went to Myrtle Beach, it was nothing but woods and houses for the most part.
Correct.
Then the businesses started, and all the people who lived there are not there now. They had to go somewhere else because it just got too expensive. And a lot of people were saying that may happen to the West End.
I think it's gradually happening now. It's not happening, like you said. It's a part. This is the circle of life in a sense with, I guess, with new buildings and going towards the future. I think that there should be help for seniors because, of course, they cannot afford their utility bills, let alone a tax increase. I think we need to find ways to do something to help those people out. A lot of people they're just old now, so a lot of people are not working. A lot of people lost jobs. It's getting to a point now where taxing them out of their locations is going to happen. Gentrification, we can't stop from happening, and we just going to have to find a way to accommodate those who are truly in need of help, because that's all we can do at this point.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you about one more topic, because these interviews go by so fast when you're doing them. But crime in the city, there's been a lot of talk lately and a lot of news lately about gun violence, whether it's people getting shot, houses getting shot, cars getting shot, or just gunfire in the city. Do you think we have enough police in our police force right now, or do we need more, or what can be done to help bring this problem under control?
I believe we need more police that care. We need more police who will park their cars and walk out and talk to these young men and women and find out, hey, what's going on in your life today. Sometimes a conversation can diffuse a whole bunch of stuff. But we need more, not only communication, but we need more interaction with the public. And that's not happening. And the violence, the gun violence and everything is horrible. But another thing that needs to be done is that we need to close some of these cases out that are still open, because some of the same people who are causing these crimes and shooting the guns are the same people that they're not being caught, so they're still out there doing the foolishness that they're doing. And we also need to concentrate on families. Some mothers, single family homes, let's get the parents involved more. I think that should help a little bit, if not a lot. I know if I was more involved, if I had a son, they wouldn't have to ask me but 2 questions. Where is he and what did he do? Because I would be able to tell you both. I would be able to answer both of those questions.
Now, if you're elected, one thing you'll be able to do is help put together the new budget that begins in July 2026.
Correct.
Would you work to see if you can find money for more police officers in that budget?
We already had a budget of like almost $55 million for little old Georgetown. We need to see where we can cut the fat so we can afford the things that we need, not get things that we don't need.
So you're saying instead of adding more money to the budget, reallocate what's in there?
Yes.
Okay. And to see if you can use some money from somewhere to pay for more officers.
Correct.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this, and as we wrap up, October 20th, people can start to vote. They can do that through November 4th. Why should people vote for you on one of those days?
If you know me, you know me. I think the reason why you should vote for me is because I'm honest. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I can't do it, I'm going to tell you I can't do it. I'm not easy. Better yet, it's not hard to find me. So if you ever had a question to ask me, you can come and ask me. You may not always like the answer you get, but you will get an answer. So I think that's it for me.